So, we started by, we started by trying to normalize normal behavior, like actual, like healthy, healthy interactions and self-awareness, and recognizing our own biases and recognizing our own, like our own, really our own character flaws, right? Those are tough conversations. We like to put on these, put on these fronts, and I think that as a part of our entry level training, we're taught to make things look good. Chris and I, we talked about the sort of the zero defect, the zero defect mentality. Well, that if I function in a zero defect mentality, then I'm actually creating a culture where it's better to lie and say that everything is perfect than to be honest and say, hey, stuff is really, really messed up right now, because we value the zero defect, not the actual action of doing everything right. I want everything to look right, not, and sometimes even at the expense of everything being right. If you got to give me bad news in order to make things right, well, now you've let me down as a leader or something. That's problematic. And so we started there, and then we implemented the tool that I described, and we broke it down as a class where I would challenge the Marines to evaluate their own values, evaluate the things that really mattered in their lives. And we would do this, like, okay, everybody take out a piece of paper right now. And I would go through on the dry erase board, writing out the things that I valued: my work, my family, specifically my wife, my faith, my relationship with God, my hobbies. And I would evaluate, where am I at, how am I doing in those areas, and how satisfied am I with my performance in those areas. And then I would challenge the Marines to take those forward with them and do these assessments over time. Conceivably, the reason that I thought it was important for it to be a tool that they can continue to use is because I understood in EOD level one, while on the one hand I'm telling them that they need to be balanced and have, and make decisions, I'm also telling them, oh, and by the way, I need you to be here at 3:30 tomorrow morning, ready to do a 10-mile movement, right? So the point is that my hope was that they would be performing very well and very satisfied with their performance at work, but that they would be able to identify even in that moment as students. But at home, I'm given a whole lot less time. Now, ideally, they would have been fairly satisfied with it because they would understand I'm doing it for a purpose and I'm able to shift things back. And then the goal was for them to take that tool and then use it periodically as they move forward in their careers. So after EOD level one, looking at where their sliders, so to speak, laid, they would have been able to say, like, okay, well, I need to pour some more time into my family right now and get things balanced back out at home. I need to spend a little bit of time in my hobbies and get myself whole and rounded in who I am. So now when I go team up, I'm not halfway emotionally broken when I arrive there. Um, and in the aftermath, I mean, it's anecdotal. We're not talking about like thousands of people that I taught this to. We're talking about dozens of people that I taught it to. In the aftermath, I see the Marines making decisions that sometimes look like leaving special operations and going and doing. I'm thinking about one guy in particular who I think is going to go and become a nurse. I think he'll probably be something like 6 years or so, 5 6 years in special operations, and he's going to leave the Marine Corps and go do another job. Um, while understanding the audience, the point is, I didn't tell him he needs to get out of the Marine Corps. I didn't tell him he should get out of the Marine Corps, but he has the skills to look at it and say, I can do something else with my life. He can he I my As I assess it, those self-awareness skills that he gathered allow him to kind of open his aperture a little bit and see the other options that are available to him. So I see that in a number of people making choices to take care of their families, making choices to pour into their home lives, into their spiritual lives, into hobbies that transcend wearing a uniform or having some pins on their collar.